If you clicked on this video, that means you want to get big and you want to get there fast. Well, here are 5 rules that could help you make gains faster. I've been working out for 2 to 3 years now, and I followed these rules to go from a twig to a main character. Let's begin. Rule number 1. Your input needs to be greater than your output. In your journey to become big, most of the battle is gonna take place in the kitchen and not in the gym, where you're not gonna be picking up dumbbells, but instead, spatula. It's important to know that after working out in the gym and breaking down the muscle groups that we trained, we need to grow the muscle back with some nutritious food. And I'm talking a lot of food because you need to eat more than what your body burns for energy. Now, as a skinny guy, when it comes to food, I want you to focus on just 2 aspects, calories and protein. Because you need to make sure that you hit the minimum amount for these 2 aspects each day. But how do you know how many calories and proteins that you need to eat in a day for you to make gains? Well, lucky for us, there's actually a free and easy way to do that. Let me introduce you to MyFitnessPal. MyFitnessPal is a free website and app that you can use to track calories, proteins, and so much more. And I've put a link in the description for you to sign up, go through the questions, and find your calorie and protein goals. I just want to make this clear, this is not an affiliate link and I'm not sponsored. Sadly.
Hello darkness, my old friend.
Now, you might be thinking, how do I know if I hit my goals? Well, another great thing about MyFitnessPal is that it lets you figure out how many calories and proteins are in the meals that you ate. For example, let's say you had 2 hash browns, 2 eggs, and 2 sausages for breakfast. As you input all of these items into MyFitnessPal, you can see how much calories and proteins are in your breakfast. I think from this example, you can try and plan out your meals on a given day to see if they hit your calorie and protein goals. Because at the end of the day, those muscles that you've broken down through training are not going to grow any bigger if you don't give them the nutrients they need, just like a plant. Rule number 2, embrace the suck. Starting out a new journey is gonna bring some internal resistance. It's the kind of resistance where you don't feel like doing the things that could help you make gains. For example, maybe you feel tired all day from working and you don't want to go to the gym. Or maybe you don't want to prepare your meals because it just takes a long ass time to make them. The second rule is all about accepting and changing the way you see resistance. And I've learned this rule from David Goggins, who you might know as the hardest man alive. I've covered him in a previous video, and if you want to watch it, I'll share the link in the description. Basically, you need to embrace all of the resistance that you're experiencing, and instead of seeing it as things that could bother you, see it as something that you know most people won't likely do. From changing your view on it, you're gonna get empowered because you're doing the things that the majority of people don't like or are too lazy to do. In fact, going to the gym and working out already puts you in the top 5% of people around the world, which means you're doing something that billions of people don't do. So anytime you feel lazy, tired, or afraid even, remind yourself of this second rule to embrace the suck and power up. Rule number 3, learn and apply times 3. When you just started, you probably don't have as much knowledge as those who have been working out for a couple of years. But having the knowledge to optimize your workout and make nutritious food is very important in getting gains faster. The third rule means that you have to surround yourself with knowledge and apply anything that you've learned as much and as fast as possible. So do yourself a favor and subscribe to these channels that I'm about to list, because in my opinion, these people are the best at giving great and honest advice about muscle building. The list goes like this: Jeff Nippard, Jeremy Ether, Sean Alawani, Josh Cordes, and Lee Lem, and in no particular order. These are the YouTubers that I follow when I'm looking for knowledge in areas that I'm not familiar with. Also, if you're looking to improve yourself mentally or you're into self-improvement, subscribe to my channel because I'll be making more of this type of content in the future. Now, apply times 3 means that anytime you watch a video from the YouTubers I just mentioned, you need to apply the things that you've learned from that video as quickly and as much as possible. Because if you just watch the videos about meal prepping, for example, it's not going to increase your gains if you're not applying what you've learned in the video. So if you want to increase your gains, you need to learn a lot and you need to apply the things that you've learned as much and as fast as possible. Rule number 4, progressive overload. Now, this rule is often missed by many when starting out, but it is an important one to remember because you're going to be stuck and not make any progress if you don't follow it. So progressive overload means that you have to gradually increase the weight and the amount of reps in any movement that you do in the gym. For example, let's say you were able to do 8 reps of Romanian deadlift for 3 sets with just the bar last week. Now with progressive overload, you have to increase either the weight or reps the next time you do that same movement. In my opinion, I think you should increase the reps before you add more weight until you hit 12 reps on any given movement. And you're totally fine if you want to increase the reps from 8 to 10 or 10 to 12, so you're not limited to only increasing your reps by 1. One thing I want to mention about progressive overload is that you really need to pay attention to your body and be honest with yourself on your performance. The reason I'm saying this is because I don't want you to rush things and perform the movements with terrible form or worse, get injured. A great way to make sure that you follow this 4th rule is to take notes of the weight and reps that you perform on a given movement. And you can do this in a notebook or with your phone. And please, don't just wing it or try to remember from memory, because after all, we're just human. We tend to forget. So if you really want to increase your gains faster, take notes and make sure you do progressive overload. Rule number 5, being consistent. When it comes to making gains, some of us might assume that being consistent is all about making sure that we go to the gym at a certain time or schedule. But the reality is, we have to be consistent in every aspect. Being consistent in our diet, form, or the program split that we chose. There are many ways to stay consistent, but here's one that I recommend, and it's very simple. At the end of each day, I want you guys to ask yourself some questions and be honest when you answer them. Here are just some questions that I ask myself to become consistent. Did I achieve my calorie and protein goals for the day? Did I work out the muscle group that I set out to do for today? Was my form on the movements that I did today great? If you answer no to any of these questions, then ask yourself, what steps do I need to take so that next time I'm able to answer yes? These are just some questions that I ask myself, so feel free to come up with your own. Asking yourself about your progress can really help remind you of where you are in your fitness journey and stay consistent. But make sure that you're really strict on yourself and be honest. So if you want to quickly increase your gains, be consistent in all aspects. So to recap the rules, it goes, rule number 1, your input needs to be greater than your output. Rule number 2, embrace the suck. Rule number 3, learn and apply times 3. Rule number 4, progressive overload. And finally, rule number 5, being consistent. If you've enjoyed this video, please do me a favor and give this video a like. If you have any questions or tips you want to share, please write them down in the comment section. Also, if you're looking for more self-improvement videos with a lot of humor and a lot of memes, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel because I will be making more of these type of contents in the future. Stay awesome.